It's very, very well-documented history. It's in multitude of different books from the guys who did it and from the other guys. And yes, the major players in technology, particularly in the field of jet propulsion and spacecraft technology, were also members of these esoteric groups like the O.T.O. on record. And they were the guys that were involving themselves into these perverted acts to try to conjure up the demons, basically, that we have now labeled as extraterrestrials. Why is there all of a sudden this huge reveal of the ETs, the extraterrestrials, the Greys, the UAPs, the UFOs, all of a sudden in June of 2023? What's up with that? What's going on? Why are they pushing that? You guys want to know? I can't resist it. I can't resist it, okay? There's just too many people jumping off the cliff to the left, jumping off the cliff to the right. I have to say something, okay? You want what's going on? You know, after the balloon happened, there was those UAPs/UFOs where the U.S. Air Force was shooting down UFOs on mainstream news. They had news conferences where the guy's like, yep, we don't know what that was. We shot it down. And then they were quiet about it. And now they're talking about this. There's a concerted push to put that on your consciousness in 2023. Specifically in June, they're unveiling, oh yeah, we have 12 spacecraft, at least multiple bodies, non-human origin. This is on mainstream news coming from these various reports. You know, it's just like a month ago, a friend of mine saw a UFO while I was talking to him who lives in Vegas that ended up being on the news. The one that I think I was the first one to post it. I'm like, dude, hang up the phone and videotape that thing. You see a UFO over Las Vegas right now? Huge, giant thing? Well, then videotape it and send it to me. I'll put it on my channel, right? Because I got a YouTube channel. I'll put it on there. Sure as hell, he sends it to me. He's like, what is it? I don't know, man. Look, some kind of unknown aerial phenomenon that about covers it, right? I posted that, and that ended up being on the news. So there's something going on. Who do you think is actually designing these spacecraft, turning them loose? What entities or entity is steering all this? The answer is a lot more scary than you might think and a lot less scary depending on what your covering is. You ready for this? Can you handle this? I'm just going to tell you straight up. Yeah, you ready for this? So, I believe this is the Rex hypothesis based on a lot of, and you can double check everything I'm going to say. This is something that has been in the background for years. In fact, this topic, you will not believe this, this topic strangely has been the only thing that really has caught, like when I talked about Project Bluebeam, which is the project, it's a, conspiracy theory. You'll get fact-checked now if you talk about it, right? They'll fact-check you for even mentioning that deal. Probably shouldn't have mentioned it. But I had guys fly up here almost, 5-10 years ago on my little piddly YouTube channel where I'm talking about all kinds of other scary stuff like long-range rifles. You think that if the United States would send someone to meet me in a meeting about something scary and post it on YouTube, it would have been over the 101 videos, long-range shootings, some of the political rants, some of the religious viewpoints, like from the Bible, the extremist Bible behavior, Rex. You think someone would talk to me about that? No, you know what they were worried about when I started posting videos on it and explaining what I thought the hypothesis was? Project Bluebeam. Had to talk to a couple different guys about that. They're like, Rex, what are you talking about there? Where do you get your information? I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? I'm just making a YouTube video about UFOs. Did I actually hit the target? I didn't think I would hit I know it's kind of a faraway topic, but I do have the ability to research and read. I know to inspect the fruits and the roots of a story. You want to know what's going on with spaceships and aliens? Look at the fruits of it, and then backtrack it through the branches, through the trunk, down. Where's the roots? What are they planted in? The first gray alien in its form that we know of it today, okay, that was ever experienced on record was done through a guy named Mr. Crowley, like the Ozzy Osbourne song, like on the cover of the Beatles' Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. Mr. Crowley's up in the corner. He was from the Golden Dawn satanic, maybe whatever word you want to use, cult. Back in 1918, him and his buddies, some PhD doctorate guy, were trying to develop rituals to contact a specific demon. I'm serious. I'm just telling you the history. This is history. I'll tell you where the first gray alien was seen. He was the ritual to open up the interdimensional porthole, according to their sex magic, was for Mr. Crowley to rape his buddy, to tear open the space-time continuum and allow the vision of the Lamb. Lam, not like the Lamb of God, the other Lamb. And Crowley detailed it in a detailed drawing. It's the first gray apparition that's on record. And it's a North American phenomenon predominantly. Yeah, so Mr. Crowley, trying to contact demons on the other side of the whatever, the interdimensional being, was doing rainbow flag stuff on top of pyramids or wherever the hell they were at when they did this ceremony, a series of rituals and ceremonies trying to unlock it. The followers of Crowley, he had the Golden Dawn was extremely popular with really well-educated guys in technology fields, the people who developed the television, the people who developed radio transmissions into visual form, the people who invented television broadcasting, the people who worked at the Jet Propulsion Laboratory were in his cult. It was a sex cult. They're perverts. And they wanted to talk to demons. Yeah, serious. And so in the 40s, one of the guys who was one of the heads of the Jet Propulsion Laboratory, along with L. Ron Hubbard, who started that weird spaceship cult, they formalized the rituals to rape each other under the banner of the rainbow, which, by the way, is a giant middle finger to the Creator, who promised never to flood the earth in judgment again for their sins. You promised you won't judge us anymore. Watch us now. It's a giant middle finger, isn't it? Yeah, he said he wouldn't judge us with water again. The next one is the fire water, the Shamaim, the fire. See, there's two different kinds of water. We might not know that. Two ways to clean mess up. Anywho, this dude from the Jet Propulsion Laboratory formalizes all the rituals, which are specifically designed to open up that porthole to talk to the Lambs, which is the race of grays, basically, who they acknowledge as being these fallen angels. And then they get all the revelations. It's where a lot of them supposedly get their technology. Yeah, I'm dead serious. And this is in like 1946. When did Roswell happen? Right in the middle of all that stuff, when they're formulating their opening of the porthole to the other side. Like, if you can pry open with your evil activities enough, then apparently you get to talk to these critters. Yeah. That's where it comes from. And then there's an organization called O.T.O. Look it up. Look up the connections of the O.T.O. to the Jet Propulsion Laboratory and all these different outfits that do have control over even non-classified UAPs. If anyone could build spaceships top secret to have a giant unveiling, to have a great deception upon the earth, you would probably need the Jet Propulsion Laboratory's help, wouldn't you? You know, I've been there before. Interesting place, right? So what the hell's going on with that? Isn't that a little weird? In the 80s, one of the head guys of the O.T.O. who took it over, I think it was in 86, he got together with this guy who wrote the book Communion, and then all these other things happened, like the TV show, I think it was called Intruders or something. all the gray alien in its modern form with the huge black eyeballs comes out. And then you can watch the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, where you stare into the eyeballs and it like gets you with psychic powers, right? All that crazy stuff you see on the movies. That's all directly basically correlating with how once you manifest the gray aliens by doing a dude on top of a pyramid in the dark, chanting weird shit from a book, then you get to look straight. When he appears, then you look straight into the eyeballs and then you get sucked into it, see? And then you have all the turbo alien power. So did I tell you enough? And now you see the news pushing it. You know what it is? It's a bunch of horrific, sinful, bad people who are perverted trying to talk to the devil. And that's your alien phenomenon. And now they're trying to reveal basically the lambs, what their word for ETs are, right? They're trying to present that as your new gods. They're setting it up. Have you not noticed since Close Encounters of the Third Kind, right? They're getting it set up. That is a Yom Teruah themed movie, but with aliens. Interesting. Yeah, they're trying to reveal the new gods, the chariots of the gods, right? They reinterpret everything from the ancient books going that way. By the way, those ancient books tell you about those entities. They tell you all about them. I mean, that stuff is in the Bible. Did you know that the very ceremony that they were trying to do this, they labeled it as, there was a word for it, but it was the Babylonian deal. They're trying to literally, in the 40s, when they first started doing the big push to open up the portholes and stuff like that, to reproduce what Crowley did back in 1918, they were trying to basically embody the spirit of Babylon into a baby. Like from Babylon chapter 17, or from Revelation chapter 17 in the Bible, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth with all the sins piled up. But from their perspective, Babylon's the new God, and then us people with the old God, we don't like it. So then the Bible's like the negative view of that. See? And so now they're trying, this is foretold in the book. So here you are. It's literally totally warned to us thousands and thousands of years ago that in the last days, the spirit of Babylon would be reintroduced, and there'd be a great deception to where that the man of sin, or these false prophets, if you will have the power to call down fire from heaven in the sight of men and deceive those which are on the face of the earth with everything possible, claiming to be God. One day on the news, you're going to see that they're going to reveal that, oh yes, we've been in contact with the aliens. Here they are, see? And they know, they made us. They genetically engineered us. And here they wrote all the holy books. Oh yeah, the aliens, it's them. When in fact, it's the inverse of all that stuff, right? They're going to try to push you. It was warned in the books. Yeah. Is that a little too scary for you guys? The aliens? You can't make this shit up. Can't make it up. So it should be slightly alarming. It should be slightly alarming that all of a sudden they're just hammering it away on it from the Pentagon in the last year, right? And in conjunction with the Rainbow Times, last couple years have never seen the likes of what we see on the face of the earth today in terms of that kind of stuff. Except maybe in the days of Sodom and Gomorrah, right? But it is that Sodom and Gomorrah rainbow flag waving situation in defiance to the Almighty that conjures up those damn things in the first place. That's your clue. Is it benevolent or is it sinister? Probably sinister, man. So you can rest assured, if a UFO lands in your yard and a gray alien gets out and tries saying some shit to you, not a good guy. As Brother Bear said, shoot it in the face immediately. Yeah. It's not a terrible policy if you have space aliens in the yard, right? Ridiculous. I'm here to tell you, though, you don't need to be scared at all of that stuff if you're grounded in Him who warned us about all that. Because every piece of the way the technology works and all that only exists because of the laws of physics that He invented in the first place. And He empowers these false prophets. It tells us in the last days, He allows these false prophets, these lambs, these grays, in the last days to test us, to see if we're going to follow signs and wonders and fire in the sky, if we're going to follow after the power that we see, or if we're going to obey His law, which is His, basically, love God with all your heart, mind, and strength, love your brothers yourself. And then it's all detailed in there. You're going to follow Him the way He prescribes, or are we going to just follow after anything that's shiny? Anything that can, promise us the world. Careful, because I don't think it's going to deliver what it says. So yeah, that's the story of the aliens in a nutshell, man. And demons. The first ones ever seen, it's very, very well documented history. It's in multitude of different books from the guys who did it and from the other guys. And yes, the major players in technology, particularly in the field of jet propulsion and spacecraft technology, were also members of these esoteric groups like the O.T.O. on record. And they were the guys that were involving themselves into these perverted acts to try to conjure up the demons, basically, that we have now labeled as extraterrestrials. So there you go. I thought you should know ahead of time, okay? Because once that deal happens, I tell you what, everyone's going to go absolutely nuts. And a huge amount of the people on the earth are going to run straight off a cliff with that one. So let it be known that that has all been warned ahead of time. Not by me, but by Him. For more of this, man, we're talking about this kind of stuff all the time on Patreon, right? A lot of stuff I can't talk about here, and I just won't, right? It's too crazy. It's too crazy for public release, right? It's just too ridiculous. But if you think that stuff is something you want to learn more about or participate in trying to shore up your protection mechanisms for such things and to understand what's going on, right? The huge part of it is just understanding what we're dealing with, right? If you think that kind of stuff is fun, you can check out Patreon. I'll leave a link below for you. I do appreciate everyone's support who is there. It's been a big blessing for us. And stay tight with the Almighty. Stay tight with the Creator of the universe. Yeshua has conquered death. And nothing to worry about if you're tight with the Almighty through Yeshua. Amen. Rex out. This one's mine. It's fine. Don't worry about it.